Okay, so today we are talking about self-confidence, self-esteem, tools to building it up, and then answering some questions such as why do so many of us have such low self-esteem? And how can we change those negative thoughts about ourselves into positive ones? So, first up is causes of low self-esteem. Unsupportive parents, caregivers, or others who have played influential roles in our lives. Friends who are or have been bad influences in our lives. Stressful life events such as relationship problems, divorce, or having to move our residences, bereavements, or serious illnesses. Trauma and abuse. Poor performances at school or work, resulting out of setting unrealistic goals for ourselves. Mood disorders, mental health struggles of all kinds, including PTSD, CPTSD, and anxiety. What are signs of low self-esteem? Saying negative things and being critical about yourself. Joking about yourself in a negative way. Focusing, what's that?
Sorry, that's me.
That's you. Focusing on all of your negatives and ignoring your achievements. Blaming yourself when things go wrong. Thinking that others are better than you. Thinking that you don't deserve love, respect, or just to have fun. What are effects of low self-esteem? Difficulty with relationships or problems at work or school. You may become very upset by criticism or disapproval and withdraw from activities and people. You may also avoid doing anything where you may be judged or measured against other people. Not looking after your appearance or overcompensating by always being perfectly groomed. Problems with your body image, drinking too much alcohol or taking drugs, or you may not stand up for yourself when you are being bullied or abused. What health problems are associated with low self-esteem? Depression and anxiety, eating disorders, social phobias and anxiety, attention deficit disorder, mental health struggles, PTSD, CPTSD, and substance abuse. And I will stop there because that is where we were getting feedback. And Kim, do you want to repeat what you had said?
That is what I am.
To a T? To a T, like every single aspect, yeah.
All of it. That's how I am all the time.
Me as well. Brett?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not too bad in lots of ways, and I carry on regardless as if I've got plenty of self-esteem. I keep working on building it. But it's still that, you know, I look in the mirror and I hate my own reflection a lot of times, you know, and I do the jokes about myself as well, you know.
So I think first, the big thing to remember is those 6 things that are the causes. And that I think pretty much everybody in these groups with PTSD have one of these or all 6, which was, to just review, unsupportive parents, caregivers, or others who played influential roles in our lives, friends who are or have been bad influences in our lives, stressful life events such as relationship problems, divorce, having to move our residences, bereavements, and serious illnesses, trauma and abuse, poor performances at school or work, which results in which is due to setting unrealistic goals for ourselves, and mood disorders, mental health struggles of all kinds, including PTSD, CPTSD, and anxiety. So understanding that first is understanding where it came from. didn't come from our self-image. It came from the image that was transferred onto us by those negative people that caused us pain and suffering.
Yeah.
And the kind of first step that goes along with that to moving past that is acknowledging that it had nothing to do with you and that it's from other people. And then we can work on how to change it.
I think it's hard for me to pinpoint it really, but after my first wave of loads of drug taking, that messed me up. But when I think of back before then, fear did it. I was just scared of letting myself be seen to be too good at anything or anything like that. And that was just through fear of being bullied.
Right.
Because I was always bullied in school, right? So it's kind of like that, you know. The bit when I say a joke about myself and put myself down in jokes, a lot of that is actually thinking about it. It's actually it ain't an insecurity thing. It's like me trying not to take myself too seriously.
Or you joking about something that you're insecure about before someone else has the chance to. Sometimes.
It's a bit, yeah, sometimes definitely. Got no worry about admitting anything, right? So sometimes I work out the truth, but a lot of it is just to let people know that I'm not taking myself too seriously, even if I sound like I am, I'm not.
And that one I think is, could be taken in a couple of ways. Like sometimes that is a positive coping mechanism for us to turn it into a joke just because it's easier to talk about maybe, or easier to just brush off, shake it off.
Yeah.
So that one, I can see how it could be positive and negative. Now, if you're joking and like really slamming yourself and putting you down, then that's unhealthy. But if you're just making a joke, like you said, to show that, you can still appreciate laughter and kind of make fun of what we lack. And
yeah, don't take yourself too seriously. Yeah, not that, and not taking yourself too seriously. You're letting people know.
Right.
I mean, you know.
Absolutely. So anything else stand out about, let's see what, focusing on all of your negatives and ignoring your achievements. That happens to me all the time. Concentrating on what I haven't done or wanted to do instead of what I have actually accomplished and been successful at.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much of that I do or not. I can't get my head around it at the moment.
Was that a thumbs up, Kim?
Yep.
How about blaming yourself when things go wrong instead of blaming others?
Yeah.
Yeah, for me.
Yeah, I kind of do sometimes, but I also wrestle with it a lot, trying to work out who was right and who was wrong.
Mm-hmm. How about thinking that others are better than you?
Yeah, all the time.
Me too, sometimes.
I don't have too much of that. That one. No.
How about thinking that you don't deserve love, respect, or just to have fun?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's almost daily for me. I can see Brett's thinking.
Yeah, I'm thinking like I'm all right until somebody questions that. If someone doesn't treat me with respect all of a sudden, then I'm right. Really, what have I done? What did I do? Did I come across wrong? They must think I'm an idiot, right? What did I do wrong? What made me come over like an idiot? I've got to start going over in my brain, doing my heading. So I wrestle with stuff like that for hours, and I can't shake it.
Yeah. So as far as the effects of low self-esteem, I'll read these one at a time and you can comment on whether it applies or not, or just do thumbs up, thumbs down. A difficulty with relationships or problems at work or school.
Yes.
You still thinking, Brett, or just go on?
Still thinking, flashing back to things, but yeah, no, I can't think at the moment.
Okay.
I usually do fairly all right with things.
Okay. You may become very upset by criticism or disapproval and withdraw from activities and people. You may also avoid doing anything where you may be judged or measured against other people. That's a hard yes for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not looking after your appearance or overcompensating by always being perfectly groomed. No, I'm not perfectly groomed. Yes, lacking personal appearance.
I've got a bit of a balance of both going on there. I went through a phase in my life where I was always groomed up, always. You know, I went through a phase of that way back. Now I'm not too bothered, but yeah, I'm not really in that corner too much.
Now, last week I took my kids to school for 3 days without even once. I just think, I was just so tired, and I just couldn't be bothered to even brush my hair.
And
Yep, there's been plenty of times I went places in my pajamas and slippers. I just, whatever.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I would not have done that, but
when you did that, which when you went out in your pajamas and slips, or like Kim went out, you know, or like not groomed or anything, are you then self-conscious when you get out there, or are you past caring at that point?
past caring. For me, past caring.
Yeah.
Don't give a fuck. I'm like, I don't know these people.
Or you feel so low, you feel like you couldn't go any bloody lower.
So much for me that I can't go any lower than I can, but it's what I feel comfortable in as far as, do I want to change? Does it matter? Am I going to run into somebody I know, or is it just fucking strangers who look at me funny anyway, no matter what I'm dressed in? For me.
I just don't care what people in school think of me. I don't care.
Right.
I go school without even like underwear. Like just do my coat up and
Yeah.
like have any underwear on. I don't care.
Right.
Like I am today. No underwear on. I don't even care.
No, I'm with you. It's just whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
By the way, if anybody wants to talk here, it's no problem. You just speak up, say whatever you want to say, and I'll edit you off if you want me to. You can just tell me later on. I'm not going to do it all quick and get it straight up online. There's plenty of time.
Let me see if we got any chats in there. No, there isn't.
I'll see one chat bit. What's that? But I'm pretty self-conscious. Like if somebody's coming round, you know, to visit or something like that. If I'm saying with Diane's and her daughter's coming over or something like that, then I have to straighten myself up so I don't look too much of a mess and embarrass Diane. You know, that's what I feel like.
I don't give a fuck when I'm around my mom, my dad. I'm like, sorry, I'm in my pajamas, just woke up. Or sometimes they'll come and I'll purposely be in the shower. I don't bend over backward to impress them, you know?
Yeah.
But when we went to brunch, obviously, I dressed a little nicer. Okay, so the next part is problems with your body image, drinking too much alcohol, or taking drugs, or you may not stand up for yourself when you're being bullied or abused.
Some of that, yes. Some of that, definitely no.
Do you want to say which ones yes and no, or
the standing up for myself, definitely no. I'll happily do that. Happily.
Happily
Yeah,
stand up for yourself.
Huh?
You happily stand up for yourself, yeah?
Yeah, all the time. But the other things,
the body image?
Oh God, yeah, that's a big, massive one for me.
Drinking too much or taking drugs?
No.
I've got a pretty poor body image, but then I've got a pretty poor body. I'm 60, nearly, you know? Damn it.
So mine would, in that category, would be problems with my body image. And I don't consider using the medical marijuana drugs.
No, it's not.
And I generally don't have a problem standing up for myself when I'm being bullied or abused, except when it comes to my mother, because it's useless. My way of dealing with that is disassociating and putting the mask on, like we said yesterday.
That's actually really upsetting. That is, you feel that it's pointless to stand up for yourself. It comes to her.
Yeah.
What did you say? That's a bad thing, or that's a?
It's bad, yeah. It's bad, man. That it puts you in that position that you feel like that.
Oh yeah, I don't like having to put a mask on, but that's the only way that I can deal with her abuse. And I hate that.
That's hard to hear.
Right.
Mums shouldn't do things like that to the kids.
No.
Right.
Hear enough now, fucking hell.
Oh.
It's okay. Don't.
Mums shouldn't do the things she's done.
No.
Right. There's always that little child that questions and says, why did you do that? Why didn't you nurture me? What did I do? As much therapy as you get, those thoughts are still back there.
Yeah. Of course they are.
And you know what's sad is I remember, I told you she's a social worker, but I remember when I was young, before some of that stuff happened, that was what I was going to go into. And then after what I saw with her, I was like, oh, fuck no. And I realized in this group that would have been my forte, but it was so tainted for me because of what I saw, the bad in her, that I wanted nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew that I would be a completely different one, but at that point in my life, it was just a toxic path for me to take, and that's why I followed the path of working for lawyers, which I'm glad about because it made a good amount for my SSDI. And I'm just thankful that Social Security over here, like disability,
Okay.
lifetime earnings, because I worked for 17 years as opposed to just when you don't have a work history.
Right.
So I'm thankful in that regard. And then I guess I'm thankful now that through therapy and realizing my worth now as a kind of social worker or therapist. I'm getting to do what I want to do now on my terms in a healthy way.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You think, is that your thinking cap, Brett?
Yeah, I'm just following what you said. I totally agree. Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. It's kind of
Sarah, if you hadn't had the past you had, would you be doing the work you do?
Yes,
Would you
I
still be
think
doing?
so, but I wouldn't be as knowledgeable about it because I wouldn't have gone through all that shit and life experience to be able to help you guys. But as far as I've come, and of course I'm still working on it for the rest of my life, but yes, because I realized also that I've been bipolar since birth. So at some point, this would have happened. And ironically, Kim, you don't know this story, but I'm super manic most of the time and up all the time. And I've been wanting to do this for months. So in one night, from whatever, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, plus not sleeping that day, I set up the entire group in one night. And that to me was like, okay, I finally got motivated. I did it. I didn't have any clue how to do it. I just fucking did it off my phone, no computer. So that to me is like, I found my calling. I found my purpose. I found the best way to make myself happy and to make others happy and to heal and help as many people as possible.
So it's odd because what happened to me, I want to go into counselling and help other people. Because what happened to me. But
right.
But like then, if what happened to me didn't happen to me, I wouldn't go in counselling.
Right. And I have to say this disclaimer all the time. I'm not a counselor. I'm not a therapist, but I've got life experience. But I am looking into becoming an actual peer support and an actual mental health advocate, which is something I don't have to go to school for. And I don't know how long it is or whatever, but you get certified. And then I can offer things within that realm. And that's why when you join our group, you'll see that we have a resources page for things that go above and beyond what we can do as a support group, like suicide lines, immediate crisis, things like that.
Yeah.
So, but I totally get wanting to become a counselor or someone to help because we want to be able to relate to their stories or tell them, hey, this happened to me, but I'm still here.
Yeah. I say it's because it's hard to a counsellor that hasn't been through what you are going there to talk about, isn't it?
Right. Yep. Absolutely.
And to actually be able to work with that person is just important that they understand how you're hurting.
Right. It's just like if you're in a AA or NA program or whatever, and you're listening to some schmuck who's never had that problem. It's like, fuck off. You don't know what I'm going through, you know? You want to hear, I wish that there had been someone like me to help me before I got to be the way that I was. So that's my purpose with that.
Yeah, it is a good thing.
Right. It's a way of turning that empathy into a positive thing for you and yourself, just remembering to set the healthy boundaries to know what your energy is and not theirs.
Yeah.
Brett, you got any feedback? I'm just shutting this heater off in a minute. Oh, Laura said this group has literally saved her life. Oh, Laura, thank you.
Yeah.
That means so much.
Yeah, man. Laura's count. I've said it before, you know what I mean? I feel like I've come a damn sight further from going on PTSD groups, dealing with people who are not professional, but just like me. With the added bonus of having people like you, Sarah, who have just like a therapist, even though you ain't one. So, yeah.
We want to read Laura's that popped up, but can you see it, Brett?
I truly believe if it wasn't for this group, I wouldn't be here today.
Laura, that means so much to me that we've been able to give you that support, even when you may have thought you were on the ledge. I'm just so grateful that we're doing this and we're keeping you afloat and giving you support. We all love you. And that is like the greatest thing you could have told me today or in my whole lifetime. Thank you, Laura.
I'll tell you what does it for me as well is the fact that when I used to go work years ago, like, I worked for quite a long time before I had to just pack it up altogether from the weather. But in the early days, before I got mashed up on drugs, when I was quite young, I managed quite a lot of tire and exhaust centres, right? Maybe
At what? Detox centers? Is that what you said?
No, tire and exhaust centres.
Oh, okay, your trade, yeah.
Tires and exhaust and brakes and batteries and stuff like that. And I managed about 4 of those, I think. And it was good because, like, you know, I had a position of trust. They gave me a position of trust, right? And so I loved that, right? So then, you know, afterwards, all the drugs and everything like that, and you know, it changed a lot. So now flipping to today, to be in a PTSD group, you know, and then being put back in a position of trust where, you know, someone says you can be an admin of my group, that is enormous for me. So for me, I feel like I'm back at work and I'm like, I'm back where I should be, right? In a position of trust, right? And so like, so that means a lot to me. So that's been such a building thing for me, just having that, you know, just on that alone. Never mind the fact that all of a sudden everybody relates to me, and I relate to everybody because we've all got PTSD. No matter what the causes are, we've still all got that thread that goes right through, right? So we all get it. So yeah, you know, and going back to something you said earlier on, I was thinking about, you know, how many counsellors and therapists are out there who've got no experience of it themselves. And you know what I mean? It's like, you know, and some of them, I really believe that it's just a job to them and they're in it for the money. Get as many clients through the door as you can, you know. And
what you don't want to hear from a therapist is, yeah, okay. It's like they're just like that wah 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 from Charlie Brown. Like they're not fucking hearing anything.
Yeah, or the classic.
You want a therapist that's gonna actually dig in and look at you and listen and say, okay, I hear you, I understand you, I validate your feelings. We're gonna find the way to get you through this into healing. And that takes a long time to find someone that you match up with. But what I always tell people is don't give up, because a therapist, a good one, can change your life. Yeah. Like, look at Paul. He's asking me to run a women's survivor support group in his office with him just sitting in. He's donating to my group. I mean, he's just amazing on all fronts. And I wish that I could give him to all of you.
If there was a load of Pauls around, just imagine how many people might get out of their funk and actually start living the life they want to live.
Yeah.
Sarah, what What sort of women's group are you opening up?
Well, I'm going to be doing one in this group through Zoom. And he also asked me to lead one in his office where I see him for therapy. Like one night a week, we have to figure it out, where there'll be 6 women besides me, and it's a trauma, abuse, rape support group. And I will pretty much be leading it because I'm farther ahead in my recovery than they are. And he likes the way I talk to people, and he just thinks it would be really beneficial.
Well, after this, I'll send you the link to my women's support group. Then you can post the post it into there.
Oh, that's right. You were the one that were telling me that you have one, right? Yes. Can you send that to me?
Yeah, also.
Okay. Yes, I will definitely do that there as well. That's a great, I remember that. That was a separate platform we could use. Right on.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Someone else has made a comment. I've been in so many groups before and they made me feel so alone and worthless. And then I found this group and it for real saved my life. I mean, I was on the edge wanting to die. I found this group and it pulled me back and saved me. Yeah, man. Pucker. Sorry, Shane was trying to talk when I was reading that thing out.
That's just Sarah over talking to everybody.
No.
Shane, we're trying to hear you.
Come back, Shane.
Can you hear us? So, you were reading something, Brett? Were you?
Recording in progress.
All right, Shane. Yeah, if you want to be off the recording, I'll just edit it off after. I'm editing off anybody who don't want to be put on it when we post it. So I can just take it.
I don't care. We know that stuff.
I don't care even
If I come into group, I'm good for it.
True.
All right, so let's give Shane the floor for a moment.
I give Sarah the floor for a moment as I make the motion that she